we'll be taking a look at US Highway 401. Yeah! Alright, US Highway 401 is part of South Carolina through North Carolina. It goes to like Fayetteville and Raleigh. That's one of the good towns. So let's do US Highway 401. But there's no map frame for US Highway 401. Sorry about that. It is from the fall line from Sumter, South Carolina. It says it will end on Interstate 85 near Wise, North Carolina. I can't believe there is no map frame for US Highway 401. Come on. Oh well, we'll just go for Google Maps. It begins on Business Highway 76. US Highway 76 is the business US highway. In Sumter, I can't do the map frame because it didn't get it. So we're just going to do the way it should be for US Highway 401. Here's our old friend, here's US Highway 15 from Bishopville, and we're signed for Darlington for 38 miles for US 401. US 15 is signed for Somerton. So we'll definitely do US Highway 15 on August 5th. We do get a mention for US Highway 378 for Columbia and Conaway. So we get US Highway 76. And we'll join US Highway, it says for Columbia and Conaway. US Highway 76 and 378. But we should get like Florence, South Carolina for US Highway 76. Here's Interstate 20 signed for Columbia for westbound and Florence for eastbound. Yeah. Interstate 20 would be coming out soon in November. So Interstate 20 would be a fun interstate from Atlanta, from Birmingham, Jackson, Mississippi, Shreveport, Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. That will be a lot for Interstate 20. In Darlington, we're meeting US 52. You can go check out my US Highway 52 video and my 76 video. US Highway 52 will take you to Florence, and we're signed for Bennettsville. Now we're joining US Highway 15. We met it in Sumter, and we're signed for Bennettsville. US 15 is signed for Hartsville. In Society Hill, we're losing US Highway 52. US 15 and US 401 would be concurrent together for Bennettsville. And welcome to North Carolina. Here we are. Oh boy, here we go. We do get a mention for US Highway 74. It has like a big shield for US Highway 74 and US 501. That is crazy. US Highway 74 is signed for Lumberton and Myrtle Beach, but I'd rather see Wilmington, not Lumberton. Wilmington should be on there also. Rockingham, that will take you for US Highway 74 and US 501. Now we just joined US Highway 501, so US 15 and US 401 would split off eventually. Now we're about to be losing US Highway 15 and 501 for Sanford and Aberdeen. I would like to see Durham for US Highway 501 and US 15. So US 401 will just head into Fayetteville, North Carolina. We get a mention for Interstate 295. I like this North Carolina style for Interstate 295. They're upgrading it from now. We get Interstate 295 northbound signed for Fort Barg. And we're signed for Fayetteville. So we do get no control cities for Interstate 295. So we do get a mention for Interstate 95 on there on Interstate 295 southbound. Now we're joining our old friend, US Highway 421. You can go check out my video on US Highway 421. That video came out around May. So now we're going to join US Highway 421 and 401 together. Southbound and northbound. Wow. Now we're losing US 421. That will also take you into Wilmington. US 401 is signed for no control city. We should get like Raleigh, North Carolina. Now we're going to join US Highway 70. It'll have a little concurrency with US Highway 70. Here's Interstate 40 West. That will also take you into Wilmington. We do get a mention for US Highway 64. 40 West can also take you into Greensboro. 40 East is Wilmington. Now we're losing US Highway 70. This should have been Durham for US Highway 70. US 401 would be leaving US 70. Here's Interstate 440. Eastbound, signed for Rocky Mountain. This should have been Richmond, Virginia, because I do not like Rocky Mountain signed. We get US Highway 1 signed for Sanford. We're signed for Wake Forest and Lewisburg. So now we're just going to join US Highway 1. Now we're losing US Highway 1 for Wake Forest and Henderson. We're signed for Rolesville and Lewisburg. Here's Interstate 540. It is signed for Durham for westbound. We get a mention for Interstate 40 and a mention for US Highway 70. We get Interstate 540 eastbound, signed for Rocky Mountain and Wilson. That is only for US Highway 64 and US Highway 264. Well, we should get like Richmond, Virginia for Interstate 540. Like Interstate 95 can also take you into Richmond, Virginia. Now we're joining US Highway 158 westbound. And we're losing US Highway 158. So we're joining back in with US Highway 1. So we do get a mention for Interstate 85 southbound and northbound. We get US Highway 401 signed for Henderson and Petersburg. That should have been Durham for Interstate 85 southbound. And Richmond, Virginia. And yes, US Highway 401 ends. So that is all for our US Highway 401 video. So today we'll start with US Highway 91. That is coming up next on this video. So peace out.